Connor, a 3-1 win at the weekend. What are your thoughts on the game?
Great to win. I think that's when you're at this business end of the season. 3 points is the main thing. Gaff obviously touched on being slightly disappointed with the initial part of the game, first 45 or hour, should we say. But I think when you're not at your fluid best, to come away with a relatively comfortable victory in the end. I think they had one shot obviously ends up in the net. It's a great strike from the kid, but in terms of limiting them, I don't know how many times we even got into our box. It was for a game that we went at our best, we were in complete control and never really at risk of giving anything up. But also when it's tight or a goal in it or a level, you always give them that little bit of an inkling they might pinch something out of it. So we've done well to stop that and control the game as much as we did, and to get 3 points is the main thing.
As you just touched on, you and the gaffer said the performance in the first hour wasn't at its usual standard. Do you have any chance to know why it wasn't its normal standard?
Listen, it's not for the want of trying. The lads' work ethic every week is spot on. They work out. It's not a case of turning up and thinking they're just going to win a game of football. We know the mentality is better than that. But listen, you can't be at your fluid best every week for whatever reason. Sometimes we've all had days. I've been a player. There's been days where it just doesn't quite go for you in terms of your touches and your play, and just look that way for a few of the lads, which is not an issue. As I said, the main thing is when them days come, we still look tough to break down and tough to beat, and we obviously ended up managing to win the game. And I think the key thing is, we've touched on it a lot this season, is how important the squad's going to be. And you think the 4 lads coming on at the same time, and then obviously Coke slightly later, the subs made a massive impact in the game, and they were enough to go and win us the game.
Great to see Dom Telfer making his debut on Saturday in front of the Bees fans, and it's good to see him get a goal as well. What would you think of his performance throughout the game?
Listen, what we knew about him, he's different type of striker to Lee. We know Lee's obviously big, strong, powerful, will get us up the pitch in that way. Dom's more of he'll come and link it, and then he'll hurt you in the box, and he's excellent around the box. We've seen that in training. Obviously he's shown that then on Saturday, so pretty much one chance, one goal, and the goal was unbelievable how well he's taken it. So he got his yard in the box, great finish, brilliant initial work from Steady, and great ball from Brunty, but the finish is clinical, and it's the reason we brought him in.
As you know, there's a big game again on Tuesday against York City. How have you and the squad been preparing for this fixture?
Listen, we always take it one game at a time. So up until 6 o'clock Saturday evening, we had to prep Solihull. So once that game was done, obviously we moved on and we prepped York. So we've got a game plan in place. We'll hopefully try and put on a good performance. I think one thing, it'll be an excellent game. Two probably the best footballing teams in the division. 2 exciting teams. Adam's done an unbelievable job there. From where they were last year to where they are now, outstanding job. They got some excellent players, some really exciting players. So we're expecting a good game. I think if you're either fan, they're probably so excited for it, just as we are as staff and players. So I think for a neutral as well, it's an exciting game for the level. I think it would be a really good advert for how good this level is, and it'll be 2 teams that will hopefully try to be top of the pile by the end of it. That's what both of the teams' expectation will be at this point of the season. So listen, what happens tomorrow won't define whether each team wins it or who wins. Obviously, you got Forest Green are heavily in that as well as Oldham. So whatever happens tomorrow won't define who wins the title. But of course, it's a big game at this stage of the season when it's first v second.
As you just mentioned there, it's first versus second this Tuesday night at the Hive. What message would you have for the fans who are thinking about coming down to the game?
Listen, just bring some noise. It always helps. When the fans get loud and get behind the team, of course, it gives that little extra bit to the players. As I said, we've all been players, so when you have that boost coming from the stands and that loudness and that noise, it can drive you on that little extra percent. So any additional support, any additional noise obviously will help us. We know they're bringing a big following. Listen, they're a big club, they've got a good fan base, so brilliant for them that they'll bring down, and it should hopefully be a good atmosphere in the ground.
Connor, thank you for your time.
Cheers, man.